Welcome to Real Talk, the podcast where we uncover the root causes of health challenges and explore holistic solutions to help you reclaim your health without the hype. I'm your host, Dr. Daniel Sproul, integrative health practitioner and professor. And today we're diving into something that affects just about everyone at some point: low energy, overtraining, and the toll of doing too much without enough support. I've got Gerardo here with me again today, who's living this firsthand.
What's up, everybody? Yeah, this one's real personal. If you're running on fumes or feel like your body just isn't bouncing back, you're going to feel this one.
That is for sure. So before we jump in, this episode is sponsored by Precision Healthcare Center in Aurora, Illinois. Again, that's Precision Healthcare Center, Aurora, Illinois. Big shout out to Dr. David
Shout
Tejada,
out.
one of our go-to practitioners who truly understands the body from a whole system perspective. He specializes in chiropractic, musculoskeletal injuries, and acupuncture. He blends hands-on care with integrative tools to support pain relief, recovery, and nervous system balance. So whether you're dealing with chronic tension, physical strain, or just want to move and feel better, he's your guy. You can check them out at aurorachiropractor.net and be sure to mention Mindful Objective when you reach out or stop by. And this information will also be in the show notes. A quick medical disclaimer: this podcast is for informational educational purposes only. We do not diagnose, cure, or treat any illness or disease. All right, let's get into it. So let's get into it, Geraldo. We have a lot of people writing in lately about energy, feeling exhausted, dragging throughout the day, even if they slept. But I know you're feeling kind of that yourself, right?
Big time. And here's the thing, I'm not just sitting at a desk. I'm moving. I'm walking 13, sometimes 14 miles a day for work. It's constant. I figured moving that much should give me energy, but by the time I get home, I'm completely wiped out. It's not just physical, but it's more like the brain not firing either.
Yeah, I mean, I get that way a lot too. We overexert ourselves. We think we're doing good, and we're hurting ourselves. So, yeah, it takes its toll on you, don't you think?
I agree, but lately I've been eating more. I've been consuming more, so I don't get too fatigued. So I've said this before in the other podcast, it's like I'm waiting to see how different I can manage the summer. I guess you could say my summer body, to see how I could deal with the heat and the stress and all that stuff in the summer.
Yeah, compared to what you were like 12 months ago. Yeah.
Exactly.
Huge difference, right?
Oh
It's
yeah.
different when you take a focus on your body and what your body needs, give it the proper nutrients. And it's just so hard because we just think we're doing good. And then when you write things down and you see reality, you think, man, it's not doing what I thought I was doing.
How long did you hound me to start counting my calories? And I said, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. And I never did it until finally I was like, you know what? Let me do it just to prove this guy that I'm eating enough. And sure enough, I was wrong.
Yeah, it's easy, but it's always like talking to a brick wall. I
Uh,
mean, that's when is your health important to you? Like we say, is sometimes you have to hit that wall before you realize how bad things are.
oh
But
yeah.
so yeah, that's a great example because most people think movement equals energy, but from an integrative health lens, we're not just looking at how much you move, right? 13, 14 miles, you're moving a lot more than definitely majority of society. So we're looking at really what's going on inside, what kind of support your body's getting to handle that movement. You could be active all day, but if your body isn't recovering properly or if your nutrient reserves are depleted, which you know about, you're going to feel like you're running on fumes.
And that's exactly what it feels like. I used to think, well, this is just getting older. I just got a little older, but it was like, you know, now I'm 36 but that's kind of a co-op, right?
Yeah, but happy birthday to Geraldo.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's just recently his birthday. He's catching up to me now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I'm almost there.
he's there. He's getting there. But yeah, it's I think everybody automatically assumes we get older. I mean, it is factual too, right? You get older, your body starts to decline. But why? Right? Is it because you're not given the proper nutrients? Is it because you're overworking your body, you're not resting properly? I think, that's why a lot of people after, certain ages, 30, 40, need certain kind of minerals and stuff that their body's not absorbing anymore naturally. So it is factual, right? You get older, your body starts to decline, but can we improve that, right? You see that with testosterone replacement therapy.
Yes.
Hey, when you're young, your levels are, 800, 1200 for a lot of people on the men's side. And then, you're 40, 50 years old and your level's down to 200, So, I mean, some research will say that's normal. And hey, you don't need to do anything as you age, you decline. But also when you age, you're declining. Is the low testosterone, for example, causing these other health issues? So if you properly work on your nutrition, D3, K2 with DHEA, get your testosterone up, omega 3s, and so forth, will you still have that decline versus the neighbor that's not doing any of that stuff, that's not getting those nutrients or the proper testosterone levels? So that's a comparison. It's like I want to do what's best for my body, and that's why I consist like nonstop lab tests, because I want to say, okay, if I'm going to take D3, K2, DHEA, get my testosterone levels up, or say I'm using TRT and my levels go up, what does that do to my blood work? Is it getting better? Then I know maybe it's harming my body. But if it's, not harming my body, if it's getting better, it's doing something good for me. But if you're taking testosterone and your blood levels, your liver and stuff's impacted by that, your PSA and so forth, then maybe you think, well, maybe you're not in need of that testosterone.
Mm, I agree. I agree with all that.
Yeah. So it's hit or miss. Like you have to test to know, and just don't go based on just research out there, because research, again, it's individualized. A lot of their research aren't really detailed, or the trial's not long enough, or the research is sponsored by a pharmaceutical company or a supplement company that's trying just to sell a product. So they do certain research. You can't trust anything.
No, not in this time. Like, it's just there's so many big companies out there right now that are just paying. I want to say, is it one of the main leading like oil companies, vegetable oil, uh, that has the little heart association, little logo on it. Even though we all know that vegetable oil is the worst one out there, but it's because that specific oil brand is paying the heart association so many millions, just to kind of be able to put their logo on that on their own bottle to, kind of trick the like people. For me, like I said this before, vegetable oil doesn't do well in my body. So ever since I switched out to olive oil and avocado oil, I've been running great.
Yeah. So you're not drinking a gallon of vegetable oil a day.
No, absolutely not.
Would you put it in your car?
No, I don't know. I don't know. It's like, like and I feel like for this podcast, I know we're talking about, well, now we're just talking about cars, but I feel like this one should hit a lot of people for the whole car industry and your body as well.
Yeah. It's a different world we live in. But look at, you see the stuff on RFK banning the dyes?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
but they care so much about our society. Why are they waiting till end of 2026
I agree.
to
Yeah.
enact it?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, somebody, the studies were saying that like the more recent one, what was it? Was it the yellow three? I think it
Mm.
was. Like how they were like, okay, well, this one's gonna be the first one to get banned till 26, but everybody's all like, great, we're making it forward. But it's like, why wait? Why wait so long? Can't you just do it right away? It's
Yeah, if it's causing cancer, like they said,
yeah,
majority in kids is causing a lot of cancer, then they should ban it instantly and say, hey, you have 90 days to change your products over. But going on 2 years, that's ridiculous.
by the time we get there, people there's already a wake up call right now. There's a culture now. Like there's people out there right now already doing their own research. Like it's because I guess I could say if we would have started doing our own research from back then, how much we would have learned by now. But it's like because a lot of this stuff is just right open. Like it's there. You just gotta look for it.
For sure. And yeah, I don't get it. They care so much about us, but yeah, let's give it 2 years. So same thing, right? Good. You just go ahead and you feel free to smoke for a couple more years.
Exactly.
Then I'll care about you. But yeah, man, fatigue is hard. Fatigue is I think it's affecting everybody now. Like if you look back how it was years ago, you never heard a lot of people complain they're tired all the time. Now it's like everybody's so tired. But is it, 5G? Is it the foods we're eating? Is it the things we drink? Is it are we just overworking ourselves? And for those that do not live in America, America's a very fast-paced country. It's expensive, so I think the sad thing about it is like the culture is not there, right? You see the Hispanic culture. I mean, they grow together, they live together, work and support each other, do it everything on that side. And different countries and stuff. The kids live with the parents for a long time. They help take care of stuff and all that. I mean, just maybe in all the different cultures, right? Just outside the US, how is it versus how it is in the US to where hey, by the time you're 16, you're getting a job. By the time you're 18, a lot of people are moving out and they're on their own, working full time. And like I tell my kids, once you work full time, that's it. I mean, it's like no stopping.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to work full time and say, okay, I'm going to work 3 years and now I'm done. It's like once it starts, that's adulthood. It's not your childhood's not coming back. Now it's the stressors come even more on stress and bills, and now you have to have multiple jobs just to pay the bills. And what does that lead to do to the body? It's a lot of burnout.
Absolutely. I started working when I was 15, and that was at McDonald's, and I think I worked there maybe, mm, like, under a month or so. I did not like it. Um, I didn't like the discounts. After that, I think, I worked for a little while. While I was 15, I worked at the flea market on the weekends, and then after that, I turned 16, I got my driver's license, and I worked for a tire company, for right about 10 years. So I could just imagine what that did to my body. You know, they never showed us how to do properly, pick up a tire or just pick up heavy objects. They would just they would show you paperwork. Hey, this is how you're supposed to do it, but nobody in live was ever there to show you this is how you're supposed to be picking stuff up.
Yeah, and it wasn't the same amount of YouTube videos.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Like, and now that I think
yeah,
about it and I watch all these YouTube videos myself to learn other, to expand my mind, I think to myself, man, if I would have had a camera back then, like I would have had millions of
I was
followers
gonna
by
say
now,
you're
man.
retired now.
Yeah, I would have been retired. Yeah.
Yeah, it's again, we push our bodies to the extreme, and so many people have multiple jobs just to pay the bills, but it just leads to burnout in the body. And again, when you're working that much too, how do people eat?
Oh,
So think, right? Like a truck driver on the road, he's on the road a lot. He's not cooking homemade meals.
those are gas station foods, and it's like, and it's not just for the truck drivers; it's for the musicians out there. For the traveling stars out there that, yeah, they might have, for the more successful ones, you'll have them to have their own cooked meals and stuff, but for the lesser ones, I guess, I don't wanna say more like the lesser, but just like the ones that are going 2 hours away from here, they're not gonna stop at a restaurant, they're probably gonna pick up some snacks at a gas station,
Yeah,
and that to me, that's, I don't know,
yeah,
that's just gross, I guess.
fast food though in general. But I mean, you as a prime example, you're walking, you're busy a lot throughout the day. It's not like you're eating every 2 hours. 800 calories.
Oh, no. Oh, absolutely not. Like, I'll go through the day, and then I'll realize that I've only had 1,500 calories, and it's like, mostly it's like snacks or whatever convenience, a sandwich, chips, a Coke Zero, water. I figured less food will equal, staying lean, but I've been feeling, bloated, brain foggy, and just sluggish, but I've noticed that when I eat better, I run better, like I perform better.
Yeah, so fatigue isn't, really about aging. It's a message. It's your body waving a red flag saying, "Hey, I can't do this without backup." And one of the biggest problems I see people eating less, right, as you just talked about, when you're more active, and that's what you're doing. So whether it's unintentionally skipping meals or eating meals that don't fuel your body properly. But based on what you just said too, let's look at not just you. So what about these even small business owners that are doing a lot of work themselves? They get so wrapped up. I mean, even executives of large corporations, everything, you get so busy working, right? You're in meetings all day and maybe you skip a lunch or you're just, I'm too busy to eat. I don't do it, or I'm not hungry at this point, or you get stressed out because you're dealing with everyday stuff and you lose your appetite at that point. You're like, man. And then, prime example of this for me is I'll get so busy with stuff, then realize that, um, 5, 6 hours goes by. I didn't eat anything. I barely drank water. And next thing I know, I'm starting to get tension in the neck, get a migraine. And that's like, oh man, it's too late now. Like I should have been eating. Why didn't I do this? So now I try to force myself. If I have calls or meetings or anything going on, it's just, you know what? I'm gonna take a 5-minute break. I'm gonna go get something to drink, a quick snack, and I'll be back. I mean, things could wait too.
No need to be forcing my body. The minute maybe like an hour and a half to 2 hours, like, I already know, "Hey, I need to get something in me." Whether it's a granola bar, whether it's it's a couple nuts, whether it's an apple, you name it, banana, something just to go into my system, just for me to continue. And this I feel it more on my days off, because I feel that my body's already, like in work mode. I'll do 1 to 3 blocks, I'll have a snack, I'll get off, I'll do a couple more blocks, I'll have a snack, I'll drink something, a couple more blocks, I'll have another snack, and it's like, but when I'm off, I'm not overexerting myself, but I feel like my body's like, "Hey, I still want that food that you've been giving me for the past 3 days. Even though you're off today, I still want that," you know?
Yeah, and just for a lot of people out there that work, factory jobs or work like in a demanding job to where their boss is micromanaging them, staying over their shoulder. You can't do this. You got to work more. You can't take a break. There are federal laws out there, that people got to realize that you're entitled to different breaks based on hours and stuff. But not only that is like people need to realize their job is not their life. They need to focus on their health and long term.
I agree.
For example, a lot of people did choose to get and they didn't want to get pandemic vaccinations. They didn't want to, but they're stressed because their work were saying it. They have got the injections, and maybe some of them are having health issues right now, or some of them are regretting they got it, and they don't even work for the job anymore. So it's like,
Exactly.
why'd you even give in to that? Like, that's where it's like you get hired, you are paid for your services. So you're not doing it voluntarily. You're not doing it because it's your brother or sister. You're doing it because exchange for money, right? You're working in exchange for money. But then people get that slave mentality to where it's like, oh, if I don't do this, I'm going to get fired. It's like, no, you're meant to be there. You're providing a service. That's what you're getting paid for. You should be able to take your breaks. You should be able to do all these things. And if you're in a position to where you're being forced to live in like a modern day slavery and you're not enjoying what you're doing, that's the place I would get out of. I think people got to take that more seriously, not focus on money. Do what you can to pay just the basic bills and stuff too. But you got to focus on your life and your family. That comes first because something happens to you, your job's going to replace you instantly. You see that in the military, right?
Absolutely.
Seeing in with police officers, everything, and as first responders is what happens when they get disabled or something right away? They get kicked out of the military. What
E
about the special forces? They do all these jobs, and next thing you know, they're on some helicopter that crashed. So it's like nobody's there to protect you.
Exactly.
So people got to really, I think, realize money's not everything and focus more on their health and their family and friends and freedom than they do their jobs. I know it's kind of going down a different tangent, but it all leads back to health. People need to really take their health seriously and think, is this job benefiting me or hurting me? And if it's hurting me, maybe it's time to get out.
Exactly. A lot of people may or may not have issues with their bodies, but once they're getting constant stressed from work, they start getting the neck tension, the shoulder tension, the back pain, So it's like this is the perfect pod to talk, about all this, like job stress, like make yourself like just get yourself a better position. Even if your job's not the best job out there or it causes you a lot of stress, try to see it, the benefits that you're getting from it, not just, not just the horrible stuff, because then that makes it even worse. It
Yeah,
makes your days longer.
especially if you focus your life on money, that's what the life you're going to live by.
I agree. Yeah.
I'm more for, you know what, as long as I talked about this before, but as long as I could pay my bills and I have freedom, I could take care of my family, I could enjoy life, that's what I'm going to do, rather than just be a slave to some company that's making money off me and they treat me like garbage. Not going to happen. So it takes time. I mean, you got to live by faith and just say, you know what, God's going to provide. So for these other ones out there that are just so consumed or, oh, I can't, lose my job. I can't do this. Again, one door closes, another one opens. That's the whole point is like, well, can't walk on water unless you get out of the boat. So going back to that is same. You got that job. Did you work a job prior to that? Yes. You lost that job or quit that job. This door opened. Now you have this job, and you're like, man, I'm so thankful I don't work at the old place anymore.
Exactly.
So then you think, well, you had to take that leap. But same thing. You see these investors and all that stuff too. They talk about it all the time. It's like you got to get out of that slave mentality and focus on your health and what's best for you. Is that quitting your job and starting a small business? Is it doing a side hustle until you get enough income to where you could leave your full-time job?
That's the goal right there. That's goals right there, honestly, like, that's everybody that should be everybody's mind and mentality. It's like, "Let me do what I really like, what I really love doing, so I could quit my 9 to 5," and then just live off of your own creations.
Yeah, because the difference is when you work for somebody, your salary is limited. When you work for yourself, it's up to you to create your salary. So yeah, it's more work, right? You might work little longer hours getting the business going and stuff like that too. But long term, you have more freedom, right? I want to take my daughters to a doctor's appointment. I don't have anybody to question me or doing that. And I know it's like I'm blessed in that sense of doing my own stuff, but people have to just get to that step. They realize you're either a worker and you want to work in that environment you're in, and that's fine. But again, what comes with that, right? Stress wise and stuff. Even run your own business is stressful, but I still have a lot more freedom there. And then I can focus on my health. I don't feel good. You know what? I'm not going to have any calls this week. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do something else. I'm going to work later at night doing my own thing versus during the day. It's like I could kind of rotate those hours.
That is the plan. Like, that's, once you're your own boss and you're working under your own schedule, yeah, other than, having to get the kids up ready for school, it's like you could sleep in, you can have a more what I like to call it a slower morning. Nothing's you don't gotta do anything. There's nothing pressing. You're actually enjoying your coffee while it's still warm versus like you're just on the go. You'll just drink it on the way to work or like drink your coffee on the way to work or as far as like you don't know where your next like little mini break or a break to yourself it's gonna be. This way you work for yourself and you work under your own pace, and it's one of those things, if I don't work, I don't get paid.
Exactly. And that's what forces you to work, right? You're not a salesperson, you become a salesperson. And it's just, I think it comes more natural because if you have to be a salesperson, you're not a salesperson, you get a job as sales, I'm sure you're going to be stressed. But if it's your own product that you love to do, you know it the best. It's easier to talk about it. It's easier to find the right audience. It's easier to make a sale, And so that's why I tell people like working for yourself. You can make $5, you can make 500 million. It depends on how hard you work for it, and you find the right opportunities out there and partner with the right places and stuff like that. You get on the right path. And again, do what's best for you. So even if it's your bills are $30,000 a year and you make 35,000, you could be very content and feel like you're a millionaire because of the freedom. So it's not all about the dollar amount because the more money you make, the more problems come with it. So
Just
I
like
don't,
that song.
yeah, I don't think people realize that. At a young age, you think I want to be like millionaire, billionaire, but as you get older, you realize there's a lot more to money. And then with a lot of money comes a lot of problems, and people get overwhelmed and live in a way they shouldn't live, right? They buy these expensive cars. Like how many people make, $40,000 a year or driving a new Tesla? They just bought a house. They bought a boat. They bought all this stuff, right? Say the fake rich, but that's not a lifestyle, right? It's too hard to keep up with the Joneses, right? You can't,
You
nobody cares about what car you have. Nobody cares about what boat you have. Nobody cares. You're the one making the payments. You're the only one that cares.
exactly. No, yeah, and that's what it is. It's like they say fake it till you make it, but why live like that though?
Oh yeah, no. I mean, maybe again when I was 25, but now it's like, there's no way. I want my freedom. I want to do my own schedule. I want to go to the gym when I want to go. I want to buy supplements I need to buy. I want to just have that downtime to eat properly.
Exactly.
But going based off what you said before about the what,
About me staying lean,
oh yeah, about the lean, and then also about being bloated and brain foggy and sluggish at times. That's usually a sign of cortisol dysregulation. So it's usually your body's under stress. It's not getting enough fuel. As you know, you're not giving enough fuel. Then what does your body do? It starts conserving energy. It slows down non-essential functions like digestion, hormone balance, even mental focus. So from the outside, you're active and moving, but inside your body's basically saying, we're in survival mode. And how many people in this world are in survival mode?
That kinda hits. Like, I'm sabotaging myself without even knowing it.
Yeah, and that's a lot of people out there and easy to do when you're busy. So that's super common. And the answer is in a new supplement or another coffee, right? Everybody lives on coffee. They have an IV full of coffee, right?
If those were available, an IV of coffee, I think that would be a thing.
So you're saying I could become a billionaire with that idea right there?
I think we should I think we should actually, patent that and
Yeah.
have an IB bag and then just put a coffee logo on it and then let it rip, you know?
Yeah, like some derma patch connected to IV and it just absorbs in your body.
Exactly.
So people, that's patented. We just patent it so you can't steal that idea. So don't even think about it. So yeah, so again, new supplement or another coffee isn't giving your body what it needs, right? Enough calories, enough protein, minerals like magnesium, potassium. What's another one? Stable blood sugar, restorative sleep. So when those foundational pieces aren't there, your energy won't come back, no matter how much motivational quotes you read. Or, we talk with your nutrition, right? We're just talking about that,
Yeah,
right? If you're
exactly.
not fueling the body, what are you doing?
So people feeling tired, maybe it's not about pushing harder. Maybe it's about supporting better.
Exactly.
And that's one of my biggest things right there, and it's like at work I see a bunch of guys that are just walking on zombie mode. And I'm always telling them like to me it's not one of those things like, hey, make sure I'm not being a health coach. I am not being a health coach at work. I'm just like to me is, hey man, maybe take it easy or work less or get better sleep or try to rest. And my biggest thing is that I always tell them is try your best to get rest or your body's gonna do it for you. And that could either be getting you sick or just feeling out of whack, but getting enough sleep and not even enough sleep is just getting enough rest for your body.
Yeah. So how many people think Geraldo at work is health coaching people?
Oh, I got a couple of them. I got a couple of people and that have called me out and it's like, no, it's just but they've said it before and it's like, hey, every time I talk to you, you always want to switch things around. But I guess the way I see it is you're talking to me, so I'm gonna give you my opinion.
Exactly.
Like I'm not gonna sit there and let you, I guess, make a wrong decision,
Yeah.
but it's not up to me, It's I'm doing my own thing, they could do their own thing.
Yeah. Don't bring it up then.
Exactly.
Right? Hey, there's so many people that love to complain, 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 but don't take action. That's where I get upset too. Like respectively upset. I just don't like having to preach over and over to the same people about the same thing. It's like you either take action or you don't. And then that's a lot of times like I'll come across people, they'll ask me, hey, what should I do here, here, here? Okay, we discuss it, spend a couple hours discussing this stuff. Okay, I'm gonna eat better this stuff. A couple months go by, you see them again, you're like, hey, how's things going? They're like, oh, well, I never did that. Or now I'm at the doctor because I'm dealing with this issue. It's like, okay, I'm done talking. Gave you the information, you didn't do anything with it. It's time for me to move on. Again, you could lead the horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
I
So,
agree. Yeah, no, and that is true. And then it's one of those things, it's like me with all the studying that I'm doing and all the learning that I'm doing on the supplements, nutrition, I've gotten asked before, "Hey, like, what would you do here? Or what would you do here?" And I'll give my personal recommendations about myself and what I've done, but then you'll see them later, 2, 3 days from now having an energy drink, or just not not using your knowledge that they got from you and not putting it to work.
yeah. Just remember, energy isn't made by effort, it's sustained by support. So the good news, once you understand that, like once we get these people to understand that, they can start rebuilding from the ground up. So food, rest, hydration, nervous system balance, that's where energy is born. So you're not going to get that unless you're proper food, rest, and hydration. You know?
The nervous rebalance.
Yeah. It's
The
just,
nervous system rebalance, I feel like I think anybody or I think everybody should get it checked out, whether it's, with a chiropractor, but somebody that's gonna look deep, that has the correct equipment to do those scans. It's not just, "Oh, I think this is what you need." We'll go ahead and just if you go to a chiropractor, and it's like I've been to several chiropractors, and the ones before, they would only crack one side and, "Alright, you're good to go." And I was in and out of his office probably within, like, less than 5 minutes.
oh yeah, that's not chiropractic treatment. So, additionally, this is we talked about it before because you talked to me about, thoughts on working out and all that stuff. But Geraldo, I got to hit you with some real talk here. So I know you've been walking 13, 14 miles a day for work. And I respect that grind, but I need to tell you straight, working out on top of that is not a good idea for your body right now.
Can you repeat that one more time?
Yeah.
And you might have to send this particular segment to my wife.
Yeah. So yeah, working out on top of what you're doing now is not a good idea for your body.
Mm, I figured I was helping. I mean, yeah, I'm tired, but I thought if I've added some lifting or minor cardio after dinner, it would get my stamina up, maybe burn off some stress.
Yeah, but I get it. There's a lot of people out there doing the same thing. So I'm not saying working out's bad. Movement is medicine. We hear that a lot. But from an integrative health perspective, what you're doing isn't just daily movement. Walking 13 miles a day is intense output. Can how many people outside of a postman, are walking 13 miles a day?
Yeah, I'm trying to think right now, other than mailman, how many people walk, other than marathon people, but that's just
And they're not even doing 13 miles a day.
I'm trying to think who else walks this much. Well, if anybody knows anybody else working 13 miles plus, you guys get added to the comments and then
Yeah.
we'll read them and then we'll read them for the next Real Talk podcast.
Yeah. So you got to think too, you're burning thousands of calories just from that alone. So you got to think added stress, skipping meals, minimal sleep, and the extra workout becomes just another stressor your body can't handle.
So it's like a tipping scale, too far into stress mode.
Exactly. Your body's already in a catabolic state, breaking down muscles, running through mineral stores, releasing cortisol like crazy. It's trying to do this just to keep up. So if you're not consistently eating around 3,000 to 3,500 calories a day, like I tell you to do, your body just doesn't have the building blocks to recover. So instead of building strength on endurance, you're actually digging yourself deeper in depletion.
That explains why I've been feeling weaker instead of stronger. Even when I do hit the gym at home, couple weights, all the weights at my home belong to my wife. None of that stuff belongs to me.
You
So
don't need it.
so I would ask if I could use her weights. But it's like just going through the motions.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're not recovering. And when you don't recover, your body starts conserving energy, down regulating hormones like testosterone. It slows your thyroid function, messes with insulin. So over time, you'll see more inflammation, more belly fat, slower metabolism, and even joint pain, not from age, but from overload.
Man, that's wild. I thought I was doing something good, and it turns out that I might be breaking down my system.
Yeah, you got to think you're not getting enough calories to just support what you're doing already. So now it's like, now just think for that aspect like, okay, I'm working 13, 14 miles a day. I'm not eating enough calories. So now I'm going to add more to it. Now I really need another like 1,000 calories because of the workout I just did. So definitely until you're at like 3,500 calories daily, which we'll talk about here. But just, people need to think too, like Geraldo, you're just not alone in this, right? High achievers, grinders, people who move a lot, they often push more thinking they'll break through. But the smartest move for you right now isn't rather another workout, it's nutrition, like we always say. So fueling the body enough to support the load you're already carrying.
So until I'm regularly hitting that 3,000 to 3,500 calorie mark, you're saying to skip the gym?
Yeah, because you got to think, even at that mark, that's just going to be enough just for what you're doing on a daily basis, that 3,000, 3,500 calorie. And it's not specific just to calories, right? The amount of protein you need and all that stuff too. Once you got those up, then you have to account for, okay, now I'm going to add workout to it. How much more protein am I going to need because now I'm doing this much workout? So you got to prioritize food quality, protein intake, electrolytes, and sleep. So get some labs done. I know we're doing your food sensitivity test. That should be back soon. But we want to see where your mineral status, hormone levels, and inflammation markers are. So once you're nourished and stable, right, from eating at 3,000, 3,500 calories and enough protein, enough carbs, all that, then we could talk about layering the resistance training or higher impact exercise.
Honestly, that takes the pressure off. I was feeling guilty for not working out more, but this makes way more sense.
Like who has energy to work out after 13 miles of
I
walking or plus, and it's not just walking, right? You're doing physical work too, right? Arm movement, bending,
Yeah.
squatting, twisting.
And right now we're just dealing with, like, spring where it's semi warm, all right. Like it's not too hot, it's not too cold, but I can't imagine how much more I'll be burning once the heat is here, once the summer's here.
Yes.
That's when I know that I'll feel it the most.
Yeah, so those that aren't in the Chicagoland area, it's been what is it temperature right now? Seven, let's see. Well, look live for you here. It is 66 outside, it says. 69. 69, we had rain earlier, now it's very humid. But yeah, the warmer weather's here. Would you how was it yesterday?
Oh,
Yeah,
it was
it got
gorgeous.
warmer. Did you
It
wear
was
shorts?
gorgeous. I regretted not taking shorts to work yesterday. I was just on my work shirt and I had regular pants on, but I wish I would have taken my short shorts to work.
Yeah, the Daisy Dukes.
Yes, those are the ones. My money makers, I call them.
Yeah. So you kind of look like that the cop on Reno 911.
Yes, with the oh my god, I can't. I don't know his name, but he's the guy that bought the boots and it says like new boot goofing. I
Yeah.
look just like that.
Yeah. That'd be funny to see a post carrier like that
I'll do
too.
it. I'll do it whenever I get my new allowance for my boots. I'll have to do a video for that.
Yeah, so that's why we gotta get this the videos stuff going for the podcast.
Me dressed up as a mailman. What? Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, and it's not his Halloween costume. It's real work gear. But yeah, it's like at least you have nicer temperatures now, but that means what? You're gonna be sweating more.
Exactly. Yeah,
And then if you're not hydrating enough as it is, what are you gonna do then? That you
Eh,
maybe you need one of those camel packs.
that'd be cool.
So while you're walking, right, you have the straw there, and you're
Exactly.
like, I could take a drink. But
No.
then you're stuck. Cause what do you do for going to the bathroom?
Exactly. I might have to do one of those catheters. Just put in. No, I don't know. That's too much.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Catheter party at Geraldo's house next week.
There you
So
go. I'm a professional how to install them. Nah, from learning at the fire department and like all like the videos and stuff like that, and then to some personal training myself. Not on myself, but
yeah.
to my dad.
Now you know what he does in his personal
Yeah,
time.
there you go.
Yeah, that's why he's like, hey, I'll text you later. But
Leave me alone. I'm busy right now.
yeah, but it's hard because that's another thing we didn't talk about is you got to think too is how does weather affect your nutrition, right? Because a lot of people don't think that they just think, oh, now I'm eating enough, but now you're outside 8 hours a day, and when it gets to 100 degrees and you're sweating a lot, are you taking the proper nutrients? And maybe at that time you need more carbs, right? And you need more hydration. Maybe you need carbs to keep you going versus the high protein intake. I mean, things change a lot with the body and stuff in different climates and stuff too. That's where lab testing comes in,
No, I agree.
even more.
I agree, and I guess for anybody, my recommendations would be getting 2 lab tests done a year, 2 to 3. Depending, but maybe one in the beginning of the year and one in the middle of the year for like their levels, and then if they have some sort of food sensitivity issues, get that one done as well. But at least that way if you get the first one in the beginning of the year, you kind of see what you're working with and let you kind of create a plan to fix it ahead of time. And if you decide to do the half a year mark to retest again, it kind of shows you, okay, you've been putting in the work, you've been doing everything you're supposed to. Your levels have definitely changed, and you're good. Or there could be a deficiency, I should say.
Yeah, it's lab testing's important, but a lot of people, I understand education-wise, they don't understand what the lab tests are for. So I'm glad you brought it up. On mindfulobjective.com, and if you go to labs, I have a breakdown now of all the different labs on there. We offer a lot more than that, but these are the main functional labs that most people get. And there's more that are, recommended based on, your intake form and what you're going through, your health-wise and stuff to rebalance the body. So, again, visit mindfulobjective.com. There's a lot of free information. Go to resources. There's a lot of free information, shop and list, how to buy meat, how to read food labels, and so forth. But people need to remember it's not about doing less. It's about doing what your body needs right now. That's how we build sustainable health, not just burn ourselves out. And we keep burning ourselves out. And people don't take that seriously. Stress burns people out, and it's one of the biggest issues. So now let's switch gears and talk about something both of us use regularly. And I know you need to use more is chiropractic care. I know for some people it sounds like it's just back pain or car accidents, but for us, it's something deeper.
Yeah, I didn't really get it at first, but honestly, my first experience was because of my stiff neck, sleeping weird, but after a few adjustments, I noticed something surprising. My sleep got better, I felt calmer, and I wasn't holding as much tension in my body. It, you know, it wasn't just about cracking bones.
No, and a lot of people think, "Oh, I don't need, my bone cracked," or they hear all these I don't even know where they hear horror stories because a lot of times I mean, there's that competition, right, between physical therapy and chiropractors, but they
Yes.
should work hand in hand. But chiropractors do a lot of physical therapy work too. So, but it's like, well, do you go to chiropractor or do you do physical therapy? I say you do both, right? And if people don't get that. They're like, oh no, I use one or other, and you don't have to. You can use both. I don't get why they make it a competition.
At that point, you'll be an ultimate human if you think about it, because you're getting your body aligned, but you're also getting the strength from a physical trainer.
Yeah, because a lot of times too, I would say a huge benefit why I like physical therapists is that it's like hiring a personal trainer. Just like coming to us as a health practitioner or health coach, we're here to guide you. We're here to make sure, keep you accountable for what you're doing. Are you right on the right track? If not, here's what you need to adjust, right? No judgment. If you think a chiropractor is performing their specialty, and then if you're they're going to send you home a lot of times with instructions, and we're working on some coursework for different chiropractors, and you could take a course, right, and do this and do it in the comfort of your own home. Or sometimes you need the motivation, just like when you go to a personal trainer at a gym. A lot of times you know the exercises, you could do them yourself, but you just don't. So at least a physical trainer, just like a personal trainer, or a physical therapist, just like personal trainer, is going to say, okay, today's Wednesday, 3 p.m. Here's your appointment. Here's what we're going to do, and they follow you through. Make sure you're working on it for that hour, and you leave. But you could do that side by side. Chiropractic treatment. Your chiropractor could tell you, "Hey, I suggest you do these exercises now, and then I'll see you in a couple weeks." And then if you're not doing that, maybe meet with a physical therapist to where they get you on that road and just tell them what you need to do, and they'll guide you in the right direction. So,
I agree. No, yeah, that's for anybody, I guess you could say I became addicted to like all like the chiropractic videos back then. Just because it's like the neck cracking, the nose cracking, the back, the legs, and then um when I was able to go on my own, that's what I was looking for. Like I was looking forward for that, But there's people that I'll tell like, "Hey, how come you haven't seen a chiropractor?" "No, thank you. I'm scared. My
yeah,
neck." Like, well, it's not about that. They don't, like they studied for that. It's like
exactly.
in my mind, it's like, well, you don't question a doctor that's just giving you random prescriptions.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You told me, I'll take them, and that's that.
And people would need to realize that a chiropractor is a doctor. They're not a medical doctor, right? They're doctor of chiropractic care. But MDs are different. MDs do not work on this. They don't know that nervous system, right? That's why you have specialists too that know nervous system. Neurologists and stuff too. But there's specialties, right? And that's what a chiropractor does, right? So a lot of people don't know, but chiropractic care, especially when it's done from a whole body perspective, it really about the nervous system regulation. So people got to know that their spine houses their central nervous system. And with that being said, that's the highway for the brain body communication. If you got misalignments or tension in the spine, it's like having a bad cell phone reception between your brain and your organs, muscles, and systems. So that's where a lot of people don't know. Like I hear all the time, what is even a chiropractor? And I tell them all the time, just at least go a couple times and see how you do, because they don't just do adjustments, right? They do acupuncture. They do put TENS unit on you, right? Kind of relax the muscles. They do massage therapy there. They do ultrasound. Like ultrasound meaning like deep, it goes deep into the muscles to kind of to relax your muscles and work on your muscles and stuff too. So there's a lot of chiropractor does that a lot of people don't know. It's again, you just don't go in, lay on the bed and they crack you, you're done. There's a lot more to it.
No, no, and that's and it's not just my back hurts, I need a crack. My recommendation would be look into the chiropractor that you're going to be going to. What are they offering? Because a lot of them, they'll just literally have you go in there, they'll do an assessment, adjust you, you're out of there, you know? But as long as they have the training, the technology, if they're offering cupping, if they're offering, um, acupuncture, and they're getting to the root cause, what's holding you back?
Yeah, exactly. Especially when you look at Dr. David Tejada at Precision Healthcare Center. Again, that's in Aurora, Illinois. He he does so much. Like a typical appointment could last a while, right? It's worth calling and checking out, but he does a lot there. So it's not just a crack and you're done. It's kind of a whole body kind of look and what you do for a living, how we could help you, and to kind of describe what kind of treatment's needed at that point. So think about it like this. So if the spine's out of alignment in key areas, especially in the upper neck or lower back, it can interfere with everything from digestion to hormone regulation to sleep to immune function. And the stress that builds up in the body, right? That lives in the spine too. So if your nervous system's always in fight or flight, those little misalignments become chronic signals of stress. And that's what a lot of people don't know is like they got to take care of their spine. And from a holistic, integrative health perspective, right? We're not chiropractors here, right? We're focused on integrative health as a practitioner and as health coaches. But we do work hand in hand with chiropractors, right? So they might focus on that spinal alignment and that stuff. And then we work on the nutrition side. And a lot of chiropractors do know a lot about nutrition, but that's not what they focus on, right? Their primary focus is that body alignment and correcting those different postures and issues you're dealing with, kind of relax it there. Then we work hand in hand to kind of fix your nutrition, right? And that's why, we work with chiropractors and different medical doctors out there.
I didn't I didn't realize how much of my stress was showing up physically until I got adjusted. And it wasn't just pain. It was that feeling of always being on edge. Like I couldn't fully relax.
Yeah, that's one of the first signs I look for. People walk around sympathetic dominance all day long, right? Tight shoulders, clenched jaws, shallow breathing. Chiropractic care shifts the body out of that state. So when it's done consistently, it gives your body a chance to reset. And that's another thing too. People you hear, well, if I go chiropractor, then I have to go all the time. It's like because that's what they heard from a friend of a friend that has no clue on what a chiropractor does, and I don't I don't know, we see it on the coaching side, right? On the health side, we see it's like, well, if I go to you for nutrition, then I have to keep going back.
Oh
And
my
you know what?
gosh.
Just stay for 3, 6 months. We work with you a program, just like personal training. You go to the gym, hire a personal trainer for 8 sessions. They get you on the right track. Do you stay going to a personal trainer, you know, 1 million months? No. You go, you understand, I know how to exercise now. I adjusted my nutrition. I'm starting to gain muscle, or I'm losing weight and stuff too. Then you continue on your own. Same thing we do with the chiropractor. They get you proper alignment, maybe go, maybe initially you're there for a few sessions, just like with the physical therapist. I mean, there's no different. People, it's that mind state. When does their health really matter to them? That's when they take it seriously. So if you saying, "Oh, I'm going to go chiropractor one time, it didn't work," again, that's a poor mind state. You have to get in the right mind state to say, you know what, I'm doing this for my health. I understand it's gonna take so many appointments. I'm gonna get on the right path. And then you know what, I'm just gonna go once or twice a year to a chiropractor, right? I'm on the right path now. Or if you're under a lot of stress, you might need to go more often for massages and so forth.
Exactly. The way I see a chiropractor is like you buy a car, say it's 60 grand. You buy a car, 60 grand. You got to do maintenance on that car every 3 to 5,000 miles. So why not, if you're already making that investment for your car, why not make that investment in your health, in your body, and do maintenance, do routine maintenance to your body for supplements, adjustments, get your nervous system checked out just to make sure that everything is working as it should. You might think you you know you might be feeling a certain way, or that you've been running like that for such a long time that you started coping with the way you feel,
Hmm.
but not until you get adjusted or you start changing your lifestyle, then you realize. And it's one of those things. It's like, wow, I didn't know I felt this way until now. But to me, it's wild because some weeks I feel like I don't even need an adjustment, but I go anyways. And I always leave feeling like I was carrying 20 pounds of invisible stress. And I feel like a new man. Like I feel young when I leave that,
Yeah.
because they take so much off of you.
That's why I tell people too. It's like Go in, maybe get a massage done first, right? They offer massage therapy there. Maybe get a massage done first, then get an adjustment after, right? Your muscles are relaxed. Go get that done.
What do you prefer?
Oh, I like everything. Like, if I could live with at a chiropractor's office, like, especially with the ultrasound, massages and all that stuff. I like acupuncture too. Like, I did a lot of acupuncture and stuff too, and some people are like, "Oh, it's fake and stuff." Go do it, right? Feel once they put the pins in, and you don't feel anything, right, until they hit a nerve or something like that. But at that point, you feel the relaxation, and then you're like, "Man." And then you go. I mean, again, something's not overnight. Some people have one visit, and acupuncture is like a miracle thing. Other people it takes 6, 8, 10 appointments. But then at that point, their muscles are very relaxed, and now it's just, well, now I keep stress to a minimum, and now I am eating properly. I'm having enough magnesium and all this stuff, so now I don't really need to go for a while. But again, those people that say you go one time and, it didn't do anything, it's just like, again, taking vitamin C one time, saying it didn't help. It's a longer term commitment. Just people need to get that. And there are options, just so you know. Use insurance, don't use insurance. Sometimes cash prices are cheaper than using insurance. So you have opportunities. So always ask, well, what's the cash price for this versus if I use insurance? Because everybody thinks I don't want to go somewhere unless I can use my insurance. It's like, okay, well, if your appointment with insurance is $300 and your appointment without insurance is $45, why do you want to pay 300?
Exactly.
But they don't do it. I mean,
The
it's I hear it all the time. How come you don't take insurance? Well, if I took insurance, now you're gonna pay $1,800 for this test instead of 300 I'm selling it for.
No, yeah, that's how this world runs.
It is. I don't know, man. It's scary. I just hope, again, when is your health important to you, right? You said they buy a car, $60,000. They have no problem spending that money. Hopefully, they take care of their car,
I agree.
right?
Yeah.
But what about the people that say, you know what? Um, I'm gonna do oil change just every 10,000 miles because, I don't have the money. Well, then maybe you should have bought a junk car.
Exactly. A way
You know
lesser car.
Yeah, you're not taking care of yourself. But speaking on cars, do you ever see hoopties anymore? Growing up, that's all every my friends had. All of us had hoopties, rusted out cars. Now even the poorest of poor people are driving,
They got
$60,000
no,
cars.
no, and to me, I got a full-time job. I'm a family of 5. I got my home. I'm blessed to have my home, but I drive a 2000 Ford Ranger and I love it. It's like I don't uh am I a guy that stays up late sometimes on Facebook Market to look at other vehicles? Maybe, but I'm always looking at the same truck all over again. It's like I like this truck enough. I put enough work into this truck that if I get another one, I want it similar because I don't know exactly what to do if something happens down the road.
I don't again, hoopties used to be everywhere. Now you don't see rusted cars
No,
anymore. You don't see any of that. It's all new cars. I'm thinking, how do they afford this?
exactly.
But yeah, so back on the chiropractic care, it's like, y again, we do not do chiropractic care here, right? We're focused on integrative health, from a coaching perspective, and, we're gonna run functional labs, conventional labs, and kinda rebalance the body. That's our focus here, but we do recommend chiropractic care. We do work hand in hand with medical doctors and chiropractors, physical therapists to kind of, realign the whole body from an integrative health perspective, right? We want to take that holistic approach. Medical doctors, right? They don't focus on the holistic approach. Chiropractors do, physical therapist stuff do, and but they don't do the testing we're doing. And so that's why we work and partner with these different organizations so we could offer that, full universal care of really helping the body rebalance and heal. So just something for people to think about that the magic is proactive care, right? Just like your car. Too often we wait for symptoms, pain, headaches, gut issues to hit crisis levels before we act. But chiropractic treatment in general is a great example of what integrative health is about. Working with your body before it screams for help. And again, that car analogy, do you wait till your motor burns out? Then you say, hey, I got to replace the oil?
No, because at that point you're spending way more money, and then and I like this analogy more and more because it's like you do maintenance on a car. I would recommend anybody to do maintenance on themselves. Because once the engine blows up in your car, either you have to spend another 60 grand or maybe 30 to get the engine replaced. And if you're not taking care of yourself and you have, I don't know, a, a heart attack or something worse happen in your life, and it's like all those issues, including your car, they don't matter anymore because your health is the main issue at that point.
Yeah. And going back to the whole thing about work and you need to take things seriously on your health versus work is what happens if like you're on your deathbed and do you care like, oh man, what's my work going to say? How am I going to pay the bills?
I'm not worried about work. I'm worried about what my family,
Yeah.
my immediate family, my sons, my wife, you know?
But that's what people should do now as a proactive measure is like, I want to be here for them, so I'm going to start taking this seriously. And it's not expensive, right? If you take care of yourself early, right? You wait till you get sick, it's going to be very expensive. So that's why I take proactive care. If you're dealing with issues, reach out. We could work with you, guide you on the right path. And I tell people all the time, say we're doing a consultation for $139, right? Everybody else is saying, hey, you have to buy this package of, 1500, 2500. And I see people spending that. But then you see on our side is let's just do a consultation, $139 through Mindful. And you get people that complain about it. But my thing is, how do you have enough to buy Starbucks each week? How do you have enough to buy McDonald's or buy this junk stuff? Let's get you on a proper track, right? Let's pay the fees. Let's work. The main thing we always say is outside of an initial consultation, you want to do a 3-month package, which, I'd say total price spend around like $500 for the 3 months with the consultation, all that. You may have to spend different if based on, if you need labs or whatever you need or supplements. But that 500 versus, hey, I need an MRI. Now it's like 3 grand. Or a lot of people too, based on insurance, they'll say, oh, well, I'm going to use insurance. It's like, okay, well, you still have a copay, you still have out of pocket, you still have all this stuff. And they wait till they get a bill or it just goes to collections or something, but you're still paying for that. Like,
Regardless, you are paying for it. Yeah.
so $500 could avoid all these MRIs and all this other stuff they need later on down the road, or they don't even, like you said, they don't even take it seriously until they have a health issue. So when is your health important to you? Is it once you have a heart attack, then you care about your nutrition? Once you get told you have cancer, then you care about treating the cancer? Or once you have this disease, then you care about it? Um, I just don't see that logic. I see, well, I have family, I have a life, I want to live till tomorrow. What can I do to extend my life? And it's not just, swallowing red number 40 and
Oh, jeez.
all those things, So,
Well, it's just, how they say, fake it till you make it. But why? Why when you can live a better life? But just for me to kind of go back on the whole chiropractic experiences, it's not just about the spine. Every good chiropractor I've been to has also talked about hydration, posture, stress, sometimes even supplements.
yep. And that's where, they do all this stuff too. They understand a lot of this stuff. They have a lot of knowledge in these areas. But the difference between us and them is, right, they're working on the spine, all that issues, and we're working really on that research when it comes to supplements and nutrition. So that's why you may go to a chiropractor and they just do very high level, focus on this, 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 and they may refer you over, or that's where you'd reach out to somebody that does nutritional coaching like we do here to get you on the right path. So when you're working with someone who sees the whole picture, it's like a huge benefit, right? The spine doesn't exist in isolation. So if you're dehydrated, your discs are more compressed. If your gut's inflamed, your posture changes, especially on cell phones, right? Head's always down, you're going to have more issues. That's where a chiropractor comes in. So remember, everything's connected. A chiropractor who understands functional medicine or holistic care with integrative adjustments is a big lifestyle strategy.
Yeah, like Dr. Tahita at Precision Health Center. That guy looks at the whole picture. It's not a 5-minute crack and go. He actually talks to you.
Yeah, that's what I like too. Is Tejada's a good guy, funny guy, but he takes his time. He's down to earth and speaks English and Spanish.
There you
So
go.
That's why I'm proud to have Precision Healthcare Center in Aurora, Illinois as a sponsor. Again, David Tejada is doing it right, combining chiropractic with integrative principles. So if you're in the area, Aurora, Illinois, go check them out at aurorachiropractor.net. Let them know you heard about it on Mindful Objective.
Game changer. Seriously, my energy feels smoother, recovery's better, even digestion been more regular since I started going regularly.
Yeah, it's, you got to stay on your nutrition. That's what people don't get. Hydration, nutrition, key factors in longevity, and take it more seriously, right? So that's what happened when your nervous system is firing the way it's supposed to. Chiropractic care isn't a cure-all, but it's a powerful support tool. And when you combine it with proper nutrition, hydration, movement, and rest, it can make a real difference.
Couldn't agree more.
So yeah, it's like just the hand in hand with nutrition is, again, the analogy of the cars and stuff too is be pro people out there, be more proactive, take care of your body, take your health seriously. And I know, okay, we talked about work and how stressful it can be and how busy people are. So we take that into account. So that's why we kind of make adjustments on our schedule and stuff to fit you in based on different schedules and stuff. But just know you have to focus more on your body that right, this is your temple, and then people don't do it. Oh, but speaking
Exactly.
of that, so here you're getting baptized soon.
Yes, this Sunday on the 27th.
You nervous about taking the plunge, literally?
uh, Last year I was, but this year, it's I'm not. This year, I'm doing it for myself.
Yeah, the whole family doing it?
Just myself.
Okay.
My wife and my oldest did it last year. I'm doing it by myself this year, and we're gonna wait a couple years for the middle one to do it, and then once the smallest one gets of age, then he'll do it then.
Yeah, hopefully they don't hold you underwater.
I might end up coming out like the Wolverine in the movie, how he just kinda comes out and spreads his arms all over the place. No, but
Yeah, hopefully they don't say while you're doing it, you're dehydrated and they hold your head underwater longer.
I hope not.
Just add a little pinch of sea
I
salt
was
before
about
you
to
go.
say that. I was about to say that I'm gonna fill my pockets full of Celtic salt.
Yeah. So yeah. So
But
that
thank you for that.
yeah, no, congrats, man. So again, this sums it up for this episode. We'll kind of close this out here. So thanks for tuning in to this episode of Real Talk. Hope you're walking away with some more information, with more clarity and confidence about your health. Again, be more proactive. So reminder, quick medical disclaimer. This podcast is for information, educational purposes only. We do not diagnose, cure, or treat any illness or disease. So whether it's energy, movement, or how you recover, this episode's a reminder. Don't wait until something breaks before you pay attention. Your body's giving you signals every day. So that's why you get the migraines. That's why you get neck tension. That's why you get pains in the knees. Your body's telling you something. So listen.
Yeah, and I've definitely ignored those for too long. But learning what my body actually needs, not what I think it should handle, has been a game changer.
Yeah, this is about creating sustainable health, not just doing more, but doing better. Eat enough, sleep enough, use tools like chiropractic care, not as a fix, but as support, right hand in hand to help keep you going. Give your body time to heal.
And if you're someone who's been pushing and pushing, this is your sign to pause, reset, and rebuild from the ground up.
So one more thanks to Precision Healthcare Center and Dr. Tejada for supporting this conversation.
All right, y'all. That's it for today. Take care of yourself. We'll catch you next time.
Yep, so stay curious, always ask questions, and stay well.